and welcome back to Football Made Simple. Ronald Koeman had a shaky start to his Barcelona tenure. On the 24th of February, they found themselves sitting in third, 5 points behind Atletico Madrid, who had a game in hand, and averaging 2.1 points per game, and had just lost 4-1 to PSG at home in the Champions League. Barcelona's play was largely uninspiring, and the season looked set to peter out into nothing. But since the 24th, Barca have now topped the table, averaging 2.5 points per game, in addition to a strong away performance to PSG in the return leg. But what changed on February the 24th? Let's take a look. And if you want even more content whilst helping to support the channel, consider checking out my Patreon at patreon.com/footballmadesimple. You'll get early access to videos, exclusive videos, as well as access to the upcoming FMS video podcast. February the 24th, a 3-0 win against Elche was the last time that Koeman used a back four formation. In the 37 matches before then, Koeman had used a back four, either a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3 in 95% of matches. But since then, the back three has reigned supreme, using it in all 8 matches and seeing an uptick in performances and results. Their goal scoring has risen from 2.15 per game to 2.5 per game, whilst their goals against has also slightly reduced from 0.7 to 0.63 per game. But let's take a closer look at the actual tactical changes using the back three has brought. There have been 2 major variations, with the first looking like this, and special note should be made of Frenkie de Jong starting in midfield, which will in turn push up Pedri into the forward line. Alternatively, de Jong can drop into the back line, functioning as a libero, with Pedri then dropping into the midfield alongside Busquets and freeing up space for Griezmann in the front line. Let's begin with the build-up play. The back three means that Barcelona immediately have numerical superiority against most sides in these deep areas. If the opposition look to commit their entire front three to the press, Alba and Dest, positioned high and wide early, can be the easy outlets, as Griezmann and Dembele will push out immediately, making the fullback reluctant to move out to press, as a pass around the corner would leave the centre-back potentially outnumbered and out of position. And generally, these men in the half spaces have an important role to play, often dropping deeper to provide options during the first phase. But Jordi Alba and Serginho Dest have thrived in these much more attacking positions, as now knowing they have cover behind them, they can express their offensive side much more. And if teams line up in more of a 4-4-2 for example, Barcelona still have the advantage deep, and the wide centre-backs also begin to play an important role, as they are often the easy outlets and have the responsibility to drive past the pressure and into the midfield to try and open up new angles for passes higher up the pitch. But Frenkie de Jong has excelled and been such an asset for the side when playing in the backline. Firstly, it has given Busquets a new lease of life, as he no longer has to worry about dropping into the backline to help build up the play, as de Jong is great on the ball and could do this himself. So this saves Busquets' legs, and he can worry about making more line-breaking passes into the forwards from these positions higher up the pitch. But de Jong is also excellent under pressure, meaning when he is central, the centre-backs can split wide to have greater horizontal pitch coverage, knowing that he'll not lose the ball in this vital zone. But de Jong is also great at dribbling past the pressure, and we often see him move past the forward and into the midfield. So although it looks like a back three on paper, when de Jong moves higher, all of a sudden it can look like a 4-3-3, giving them a lot more flexibility. This also serves to give them numerical superiority in the second line against the 2 central midfielders. However, even when playing against the midfield three, Messi and Pedri or Griezmann come into play, as all are happy dropping deeper into the midfield to pick up the ball. This means that they will now still have the advantage against the midfield. Another major change has been Ousmane Dembele moving to centre forward. This is because, of the 3 forwards, he's the one least comfortable dropping into the midfield regions. In addition, he's also the quickest of the 3, so by having him stay higher up here, a centre-back is less likely to follow a dropping man, as Dembele can get on the end of a through ball in behind. In addition, if Dembele receives here, his combination of pace and dribbling ability means he can get past the man to look to attack the goal. And lastly, in the attacking phases, the high fullbacks providing the width makes it hard for the opposition's back four to remain compact. This opens up more space in the half spaces for Griezmann or Pedri to exploit when Messi is deeper on the ball. But one of the biggest reasons Barcelona switch formations is to help their defensive setup and their pressing. As Koeman said himself after the comeback against Sevilla, we tried to pressure the opponent, and playing with 3 centre-backs and full-backs pressed high made it easier for us to not let Sevilla play. That's been the key. It's a risky system, but without the ball we pressed and tried to play 1 versus 1. Our game off the ball was key, and it was a complete game. This starts from the opponent's goal kick, as we see 2 forwards ready to press the centre-back, whilst one remains deeper, looking to sit on the pivot, which makes central progression difficult. So, the easy outlet is then the full-backs. However, Barcelona's own wing-backs are quick to press and will spring forward to limit the passing options. The Barca midfield will back up the press, and crucially, using a back 3 means that the wider centre-backs can move out to cover, and this is fairly risky, as going man-to-man in the backline means that if one man is beaten, the rest of the backline is outnumbered. So far, they have been able to escape this on most occasions. But this could be particularly problematic if teams look to exploit Frenkie de Jong, who is not a natural centre-back and lacks pace. And of course, under more sustained pressure, they can be much more compact, with both wing-backs dropping deep to form a 5. Messi will usually stay higher up the pitch as he has less defensive work rate, meaning Dembele and Griezmann or Pedri will fill in the wide slots to make it look something like a 5-4-1. Koeman's switch to a back 3 has rescued Barcelona's season, which had looked set to be a disappointing one. They're still well in the hunt for the league, as well as being in a cup final, so this lineup may be the way forward for the Blaugrana. But I'd love to know from all of you down in the comments below. How else do you think the back 3 has unlocked Barcelona's potential? Do you think Koeman should stick with this formation long term, or should Barca sign players to allow them to revert to the 4-3-3? I would also like to give a special thanks to Nils Langman, Ufulu Majawa, and Alec Dainty for helping to support me on the Patreon Ultra tier. But that's all for today, and remember, keep it simple.